had come up in conversation, and I think I had scoffed openly about it.
Before he was promoted?
Well, I kidded with them. I mean, I have a relationship with these people. I've been there for 11 years, I mean, a good relationship, except for, did you ever read Peanuts? The comic Peanuts? Lucy? This is a grown-up Lucy who runs a store now.
So it's a trait problem, which is a socio-psychological theory.
It's funny, I never thought about that. She waited until she was in a position with some leverage and she could actually come down on
She could do something about it as though, like, keeping you from using the Splendo is affecting the bottom line,
and just Coda, I actually went through the trouble of sort of finding out how much a pot of coffee costs. I asked around, and like I said, I've been there for a long time, So I found like the right person, and he was like, actually about 66 cents a pot. Okay, so there's 8, 10 cups, a little cup. I always get a small, in a pot. So they make, $6 and something off of it. Right? It was just.
Well, you also have something, I don't know, again, if we specifically did this, called standpoint theory, which says that every person is kind of phenomenological. They have their own experience of life, which brings them their own concerns, so they see things in a different way. So managers see things different from customers. So you got some standpoint theory, you got some cybernetic issues with where the system changes when there are promotions within it. You got Watzlawick, who talks about the systems again, the homeostasis and the stability of systems. You got your trait questions about her qualities and then how she communicates those qualities. What you got coordinated management and meaning with what is the episode and what are the stories that are told and untold, heard and unheard, that we don't know, that would help us to coordinate the meaning of what's going on here. So you don't know that she may have stories that are unheard.
Oh, I'm sure. I have no doubt there's a huge...
There are parts of the story, even when we started to get into it now, when Melissa asked that question, we heard a story that was an untold story before, but that now helps us to coordinate the understanding of what's going on.
Splenda way to use sugar or no? Did you have it?
I did, actually, and I shouldn't have, but I did. I was like, I need a coffee. I got to teach for 3 hours.
And he went into a spasm, and the ambulance came and took him away. And he said, "You should feel bad." So give me the critical view here. Who's got a critical view going? Ben?
Well, she had the power.
Okay.
It was in her interest that the Splenda reserves not be depleted. As ridiculous as that is. And also that she exerts some authority.
Okay.
That more and more of the point.
Authority, power.
I don't know.
It's interesting if you, for sympathy, I'll give this person some sympathy. If you're a manager of a local thing, people breathe down your neck every month or every week about overhead costs.
Right.
You got to, depending on what you have to do, you have to report your overhead costs, and no matter how good they are, they're telling you, make better profits. So she's in a system that is constantly pressuring her to maximize profits. So from a cybernetic perspective, we look at scapegoat questions. Is there's some one thing we end up, because we can't focus on the whole system, so we focus in on one thing, and then we blame that thing, and we try to remove that thing, thinking it will solve our system problems.
You're right. It was the focus. I felt like, when a cat looks at a bird outside the window, there's a bird, there's a bird, there's a bird. Like they're completely consumed. It was like that. I felt like I was the bird.
Well, you could do analysis of this from any one of these perspectives. Is the cartoon It's probably not in Little John. There's a great cartoon about this from Far Side, Gary Larson. Here it is. I just found it. The Far Side by Gary Larson. The world was going down the tubes. They needed a scapegoat. They found Wayne. And so everybody's picketing outside. Down with Wayne, you know. Wayne must go. Wayne, you nerd. You know.
He went 3 months without buying any coffee, so it would be like, it's not like, okay, she got rid of him. Now that she's like making more money because he's not coming in taking the Splenda, like she's losing money because she's
You're trying to think rationally, don't
It's too late. It was all personal by then. So.
you? Want rational consistency. I'm sorry, you need to go over to the engineering department for that. This is the comm studies department. We deal with real people.
More expensive than sugar, so maybe she was annoyed you didn't use sugar.
That was one of the ways I think that you could go against the critical theory. It was one of the revolutions of critical theory. I mean, just the I forget what it was called. Resistance, yeah. How you can uproar against it.
Right.
In Jeff's own way, he fought the system.
I tried to make her articulate it in front of a group of people.
Now, if you could have brought Habermas, he could have had an ideal speech situation, and you could have all sat down. All the stakeholders could have sat down. You know, the distributors for Splenda who want to sell more, the manager, area.
I want my own box of Splenda. It's in my desk. I just stay the hell away from it now. I don't engage.
That was something that I was gonna bring up, and I feel it's a total power issue because I had a friend in college who wanted more barbecue sauce at the dining hall. And they refused to give it to her. So she said to them, "Can I talk to the manager about buying a box of barbecue sauce if you're not going to give it to me?" And after that, they just gave her more barbecue sauce. So it was a power thing of saying, no, you
Exposing
can't,
the-
right?
Yeah.
But then when she wanted to come up with solutions, they backed down entirely.
Yeah,
So,
interesting. But see, that's a
so
calm.
I wonder if you asked her, "Can I buy a box of Splenda from you?" She just would have forgotten about it.
But that's a calm response. It's using communication to solve it. You didn't burn the thing down. You didn't kick a table over. You used communication.
Probably that she surprised them because she broke the pattern. Maybe
Right.
they didn't expect her to.
It's
like the
Right.
thing that you said about changing the.
Right, green frogs or something. You just change. That's a CMM insight that if you're in a pattern, a stuck pattern, you bring something else into it
You should have brought.
and you kick it over into a new thing. Don't fry.
You gave up on the Splenda place.
You should
You
have
went
broken
and got
the
your, I
pattern
would
maybe.
go
I know.
someplace else and get coffee. That would piss me off to no end. Like, you pay for that Splenda. I'm with you. You pay for the Splenda.
Well, but again, we're interested in transforming situations.
Right.
So these offer us insights that the meaning of the packet, the denotation, that this is a sugar substitute. That's the denotative meaning of a pack of Splenda. The connotative meaning is that this is overhead, this is power, this is control, this is all kinds of things. But
It bothers me that she picked me out to practice on, though. You know,
the world needed a scapegoat. Yeah.
that's kind of like pleasant.
They
pleasant
found
guy,
Jeff.
You know, like I was
Down with Jeff.
Yeah, right. Gonna chat up the employees, and she said, "It's an easy target. You know,
Yeah.
he'll never see this coming. He'll never know what hit him."
We'll use extra milk next time.
Well, but I just wanted to get at that you have a lot of theories under your belt now to work with. And you've got to do more than just hit them like we're doing. You got to camp with them. You got to take one and just work it for what it can give you. Go to the book, read through, look at the points. Little John is famous for that. He says, well, there are 6 things that this does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just, you got to take them and go through it and see how they work in the situation. But this is in effect what you're doing for the companies, or whatever your consulting thing is. They give you a thing, you look at some things, and then you make some recommendations. Like our recommendations would be, realize that this is not just a pack of sugar, change the pattern that comes out of this. Look at the whole system. Have maybe understand that she has a standpoint. So ask, will explain to me how this is, and then maybe you'll hear a whole story about, well, last week I got a bad progress report because my overhead was too much or something. I mean, if they would tell you the story, which is a CMM thing of how does he do it? LUUTTT. Stories lived, stories untold, stories unheard, stories told, that's the
She's definitely allowed.
No. All right, how about we break for 10, 15 minutes? We'll come back. We'll do a couple more examples that I've got. And then, but this is just to give you a sense of connecting the theories into practice.
I guess the theory is very interesting at diagnosing and coming up with the solutions, right?
That's the whole point. Yeah, is that they give you, well, I could look at it this way and it would say that. And then I look at it this way and it would say that. So it gives you different places to stand.
When presenting the problem that we identify those, do we need to explain how we identify the problem or according to which?
No, they can give you the problem.
Okay.
And again, when I want you to present, I want you to pretend that we're the group.
The company group.
Yeah, so you say, okay, right now you're a Pepsi-Cola bottling company and you're having problems with your frontline workers who don't speak English and these managers are angry at them. So I'm going to make this presentation. So now you step into character and you pretend that we're the people. So then we get a feel for it. All right, let's break.